Hey everybody, Jeppy here, and welcome to some new massive lore updates coming to Valorant. We have some crazy voicemails coming from Cypher and Omen, really having like a fear and a worry for Fade, because in the last update, Fade says she had a vision, or a nightmare if you will, of a terrible fate that could happen to Earth, where Earth was pretty much destroyed. It was like the end of time. It was literally like the apocalypse happening, and Fade was like climbing up this mountain, and she was actually devastated and fearful. Like you could see it in like her voice, like she was actually very fearful. So in this update, we have voicemails from Cypher and Omen telling Brimstone that they are worried about Fade. And then we have an update from Viper sending an email to Brimstone saying that the policy of agents not allowed to have relations together is finally uplifted. And she's like, geez, can we get on to something else already, something important? But that's pretty awesome, because now Killjoy Raise is officially official according to Valorant. You know, it was kind of official before, but you know, it wasn't like allowed per se, but now it's like updated. The policy's updated to where they can officially date. But before we get into any of these lore updates, I have a really cool video I want you guys to see, uploaded from Valorant's Twitter account. Okay guys, so correct me if I'm wrong, this has to be Omega Earth Astra, right? Because Fade, the Alpha Earth Fade didn't go to Omega Earth, right? So we saw Fade in the background over here, right? That's Fade with Omega Earth Astra. I'm assuming this is Astra on the Valorant Legion, and we see Fade guarding her in the background. We know what battle is currently taking place. Like so far, you know, Astra, Harbor, anyone else that came up from Omega Earth or from Alpha Earth are currently fighting Valorant Legion agents. And here we have the Nexus opening up from Astra. So it's a little interesting because it looks like Harbor's artifact was needed to unlock the gate to get into Lotus, but Astra's gauntlet is what was needed to activate the Nexus. Or at least this is what I'm thinking is happening here. So obviously this is insanely powerful beam of energy coming up, and it's kind of crazy because watch what happens next. The spike detonates and turns off and seems to turn off the Nexus. So does that mean that the immense power of a spike detonation sucking in all the radiant or in the surrounding area, does that mean that that powerful enough spike deactivated the Nexus for the short, what, 5 seconds it was on? Because I mean, that is some pretty pretty coincidental timing, if you will. The second that it turns off. So that's pretty interesting if you ask me. What do you guys think about this? I think it's pretty awesome. Do you think there are going to be any ramifications of Valorant's lore of the Nexus opening up, even though Alpha's version of the City of Flowers Lotus on Alpha Earth has been destroyed? Let me know. Okay, so I already listened of the voicemails from Cypher and Omen, and I must say, guys, I want us to actually get the raw audio files from Kingdom Archives, the website I use for that. I want to get that because sometimes you can't really hear what they're saying on this, and I like the subtitles added with it. So let's just go over to Kingdom Archives website, and let me move my head out of the way so we can see what we have going on here. Let's listen to Cypher's first.
Hello, Brimstone. I have concerns about our dear Dreamseer. Not the usual ones. She's not sleeping well. I see her up and wandering at all hours, afflicted in her unique way. Always troubled, I can tell. Her power is an asset, but not at the cost of her life. Is there something we can do? She is not one to ask for help, so I will ask in her stead.
Okay, real quick, I mean, you guys can see it, might as well just play Omens anyways.
Oh, sorry, Brimstone, I meant to contact Fade. Goodbye.
So it really does look like that. At the very least, Cypher and Omen are really sensing that Fade is not doing well right now. Whatever vision she saw, whatever dread she's feeling is really impacting her psyche to a special degree, to where Cypher, somebody that doesn't necessarily care about people most of the time, he is super, worried about Fade, and then Omen is super worried about Fade as well. I meant to contact Fade, so obviously he's trying to, supply whatever type of comfort Omen can give. if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna go quickly play Fade's voice line here, because it's just so good. Just listen to the pain in her voice. I know I already did this in last week's episode. If you don't want to watch this, just fast forward and we'll go over to the email afterwards. It's just so good.
Brimstone, the nightmare came to me with a vision. Different from the rest, I saw the walls holding our world together fall apart. I felt the wind go still. I could smell the bitterness of blood and bile. I heard small, uncertain voices crying out, and I could taste the fear. There was so much of it, like the whole planet had fever. So I climbed. I climbed this tall cliff. It was jagged as bone, stretching up, dizzying. But with broken fingers, I reached the top and saw the end of our time. A silent window, stretching over the ocean, filled with dead faces. And then I woke up. Brimstone, I have seen many things in my line of work, but we must not let this come to pass.
Yeah, that's oof. I mean, you could really, I just got chills. I literally have chills thinking about it. You could really feel the pain. Not only the pain, but the fear that she has in her voice. She is terrified, fearful. And that's something that Fade, doesn't normally portray, if ever. This is the first time we have ever heard Fade scared. And she's not only scared, she is like terrified. Whew. Okay, so no wonder she's been staying up all night, because that is scary. Okay, here we are back in game, and let's go ahead and read the email sent from Viper to Brimstone, showing us how the Valorant protocol is allowed to, well, date each other now. Okay, here we go. Internal policy changes from Viper. Your revisions are adequate. Can we consider this done? Frankly, we've wasted too much time on paperwork. If agents choose to risk personal attachment to each other, so be it. They're adults. They'll do what they want. We can spare them this sacrifice. If that's all, I have actual work to do. So it looks like Viper is, a protocol, she's writing policy, and, someone I'm guessing Brimstone sent the revisions to her, and she approved it. Which is interesting to see that she said that the revisions are accurate. Oh my god, dude! It's interesting to see how Viper said your revisions are adequate. Does that mean Viper still plays a big part in policy, writing and changes and protocols and stuff like that? That's pretty interesting. But yeah, so it looks like Viper's like, done with it. She's like, whatever, let's move on. So Killjoy and Raze are now officially canon, recognized by Valorant protocol as well. What are some other agents that you feel like you would like to see? We don't want every agent dating each other, because that would get kind of, redundant, if you will. But what are a few agents that you have that you would like to have them start dating? For me, dude, I want Viper to be happy. And you know who she could be happy with? Chamber. We already know that Chamber has been, hinting at Viper, let me take you out on a date. Like, oh God, like Chamber is really put on the flirts for Viper. I would like to see that. I would also really like to see Jet and Phoenix. Jet and Phoenix is something that loosely has been hinted at, possibly, so I feel like there's some tension there. So let's go ahead and get that going, Riot. And while you're at it, let's get Viper and Chamber there too. Okay, unfortunately, we don't have any updates on the mission board. Pearl is still here. Lotus is still here. Omega symbols, Alpha symbols throughout. I believe nothing in Cypher's office. Yeah, nothing in Cypher's office. No NPCs around. We don't have Cypher in here, and we don't have Fade. We don't have Brimstone down in his office. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all the updates that came out with this video, guys, or with this update. So yeah, let me know if you guys enjoyed the video. If there's anything else that came out that I'm unaware of, let me know. What are your thoughts on Astra opening up the Nexus, and do you think that the spike detonation was the cause for the Nexus shutting off immediately after it was fired up by Astra? But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like, subscribe, notifications if you're new. Now with all that being said, Jeppy out!